there, guys. Happy third day of my 21 days. I pray. Getting myself back to center, resetting my mind, preparing my mind for the next year to come, the next season, and at the same time, clearing out my clutter, taking out some stuff that doesn't need to be there so I can make room for the next season. And I really appreciate you guys for experiencing this with me. And I hope that, some of the things I do, even though this is for entertainment purposes only, and this is for me and what I do, hopefully you can get something out of that. Hopefully it can answer some questions for you. It can make the light come on, make the light bulb click, something for someone. So on that note, greetings. I wish everyone well. And like I said yesterday, I said I was going to get on here and I was going to continue this conversation about monitoring our thoughts. We already know that on the first day I explained that the focus for me is emotional hygiene, just getting my mind right, keeping my mind healthy and open and ready to receive the good things that's happening in my life. Because unfortunately, you know, we have to prepare, and plan, as well as practice. You know, we make things seems like they're so easy to do, or just nah, child. Please listen. Even the best of the best of the best practice. It wouldn't matter what they do, whether they're an entertainer, an educator, they have to research. It's just you have to put some work in the game. You just got to do what you got to do, especially if you're trying to win this game of life, and I don't mean like more like in a material way, but you want to win yourself. You want to hold yourself. You want to be there for yourself. You want to be accountable for yourself. You want to be responsible for yourself. You want to understand yourself. You want to love yourself, because you are all you got in this world. And if you can't do it for you, I don't know who else it could be done for. So on that note right there, like I said, we was going to talk about monitoring our thoughts. And yesterday I had a conversation with somebody last night, and they said, look, listen, I know you said you was going to give us a couple of ways to help redirect our thoughts when we monitoring our thoughts and we realize that we're having some stinking thinking. And I understand all that, but can you just break down just monitoring our thoughts a little bit more? Because this person was honest enough to let me know that they struggle with negative thinking a lot. And and they were telling me that for them, they think that it's hereditary, because they feel like they're always surrounded by pessimists and it's always a lot of negativity. And it's like barely, hardly ever any positive people, things, or places around to help promote a positive thinking. But it's more like not what's on your outside. You know what I mean? It's always going to be negativity in this world. This world is always going to be full of nonsense. It's always going to be some hater. It's always going to be something. So, basically, I said, all right, I get what you're saying, though. But, this thing kind of, it'll get a little bit deep. It'll put a little bit plot twist in this situation, because it's like, you know, when you're monitoring your thoughts and you're seriously doing this for whatever your purpose is, my purpose is just to better understand myself, better love myself, better receive the good things that are happening for me in my life. So, that was my purpose. And most of all, to help calm down my anger issues, because I don't like the fact that I used to always react like a Rottweiler, when I would get mad. Like, I'm telling you guys, I just be like, and what's funny? I'll be so angry and mad, and my enemies laughing. Do you guys not ever notice that? Do you not notice how your enemies get thrilled from when they can trigger you? That's because you're giving too much control over you. So that was the other thing. Like my enemies thought they had me. They thought they had my little remote control, my little buttons. Tricks on you, bitch. Rewired, reprogrammed, redirected, just like that. Now here's what I did. Every time I caught myself thinking something crazy, something negative, cancel that thought. You have the power to do that. Your thoughts, once again, are like little vines. And if you let them grow, they will grow and grow and grow and go as far as you allow them to go. But the minute you have a thought and you realize that's not your thought, you cancel that thought. You have the power to do that. We have the power to do that. You have so much power inside of that little human vessel of yours. Child, listen, let me tell you something. For one, not only do I cancel that thought, you know what else I'll do? I'll double that thought. Okay, so my mind, if it plays with me and attacks me with one negative thought, every time I have one negative thought, I'll try to think of 3 negative thoughts. So for example, if my mind feed me some garbage I don't want to hear, like tell me a lie, like I'm not fabulous. Yeah, right. I am made perfect in his image. And I'll even get biblical with my mind. Like I am favored. I am loved. I am made in his image. Like you cannot play with yourself. You understand what I mean? The same way you wouldn't allow somebody else to play with you, do not let yourself play with you, because the enemy and this system in this world is set up in a way where they teach us to lower our guard down with inside of us, and we just allow all this nonsense to just be happening, and we think we have no control over it. Man, you got control. Take control. And it's hot, so I'm not gonna stay long today. All right, the other thing is, back to the monitoring part, right? Ask yourself, why am I thinking these thoughts? Where are these thoughts coming from? See, we forget not all our thoughts come from us. Some of our thoughts are bloodline from our blood, in our DNA, some of these emotions. And that's why you have got to learn how to focus on you, because once you sit there and you practice monitoring your thoughts, sooner or later you will start to see what is a reflection of you and what is not. So make a long story short, for entertainment purposes only, I had to really sit there and start paying attention to my thoughts. And not only my thoughts, the other thing that we don't think about too much is our mood. Your mood affects your thoughts, and then your thoughts affects your emotion. And it's just like it's like a little train. You know what I mean? It goes like that. But here's the other thing, right? You have to ask yourself. Now be honest with yourself. And that's why I'm really glad my people's, they was honest with me, because it's like, you got to think about it. Not all of us are happy people. Not all of us are able to produce happy thoughts. Some of us are just naturally low vibing people. And that is hard. That is something, it's like you at the bottom of the of the dimensional hexagram, or whatever you call that thing, And better yet, let me put it in words so you can understand. Where do you fit on the astral plane, right? Long story short, for entertainment purposes only, if you're a low vibing person and you got low energy, you fit low on the astral plane. So you will attract dark thoughts. You will attract demons, yada, yada, yada. Long story short, if you're a high vibing person, high frequency person, always loving, always kind, you're going to attract light. You're going to attract things, of the higher dimension, However, the trick with that, here's the thing about life. They say you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Well, check this out. For us high frequency beings, we get put in this category where those that have fallen before us, that have set the system up where they need to siphon our energy, we're just as much as in danger as these low vibing people, because those that's been cut off from God, who has fallen before us, they set up a system in a way to drain our energy. So you have to know who you are, physically, spiritually, generationally, bloodline, culture, stereotypes, belief systems. What are these things that are generating your thoughts? Yo, this gets sticky. And that's why I'm telling you, I am so thankful that my peoples, reached out to me and was honest, because I'm telling you, it's just, this is where the work comes in, and you have to do the research. But don't nobody know you better than you. And if you don't know you, then it's a good time to practice some self-discovery. So we're going to pause right there. We're going to pause right there. Because I feel like that was a whole lot. That was a whole lot. Even though I just spit it out like that, but it was a whole lot. So first things first, you got to ask yourself, who are you? Like, who am I? Who do you want to be? Where do you want to go? And those was the questions that I had to ask myself in order to start being able to clean out the clutter, fight my stinking thinking, focus on being a positive person and making good choices and having a good mood in order to sustain myself in that high frequency, but also to learn how to protect myself from energy vampires, because we all know that exists, and it is true. There is energy vampires in this world. So in saying that, I'm saying this, I want to look over my notes for a second to see the name. Yeah, I just want to make sure I didn't leave anything out, because even if you are a high vibing, high frequency being, you still got to protect yourself. Even if you're a person who's always having good thoughts and you have good energy, there is a system out there set up to try to siphon your energy. Be careful, because unfortunately I have been a victim of that, with friends, with people who come in who have no light of their own, who know that there are people from the dark, and some of these people have no intentions of even trying to come to the light, but they need your light to make their magic work, because they don't have no light of their own. See, this is the thing that's happening in life. And after this, I'm going to cut it off and let people decide what they want to decide. And it's like we're so caught up on race, sexuality, poor, rich, wealthy, middle class. Like, why the enemy got us fighting with all this nonsense. It's only one fight that's happening in this existence, and that's the battle between good and evil. It's always been the same battle. They just market it in a different way, package it in a different way, and sell it in a different way. And over again on repeat. And until you guys can actually understand that what's happening inside of you is the battle of good and evil, you might not ever really know what it is that you're trying to do, what it is that you're fighting, or what it is that you're battling. And I wish you well on the journey as you search yourself, you search your soul, and you find that thing that you're looking for. But do remember that if you are a high frequency being, you have to protect your energy. And if you are a low frequency being, you have to work on your energy. Monitor your thoughts, cancel negativity, send evil back to the pits of hell where it come from. Exercise your power that you have been given. Know your family, know your culture, know your bloodline, know what they do, what's going on. And you know what I mean, because life is way more spiritual than it is physical. Know your friends and understand them when they tell you that they're spiritual. Be sure you understand what they mean by that and what spirit that they're spiritual for. And on that note, I'm going to end the discussion right there. And I want to thank you guys for joining me for my 21 days. I pray. Tomorrow, we'll continue talking about how to redirect our negative thoughts and the next step. And if, like I said, if anyone got any questions, you know how to reach out to me, you know how to get in touch with me. If it's something important, I will definitely look into it. And so far, you guys have been nothing but helpful. Thank you for the belief in me and believing in you and believing for the better. And I'm going to say Psalms 23, God is my shepherd, I shall not want. He leads me in the green pastures. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. And I thank God that I'm doing this for his name's sake, Yeah. And I'm thankful for the gift of recognition, because if it wasn't for the grace of God, it was just no way I could be doing this. I want to thank you guys for the love and the support. And I really hope that you got something that can help as I'm trying to work on myself. Hope you guys have a beautiful day. Please stay cool. Try to stay cool. This weather ain't no joke. I'm trying to tell you, it's hot. It's double hockey stick. I don't even like saying that word, but it's a reality. It's hot as hell out there. So stay cool. And I wish y'all well. And I love you all. God bless. Have a beautiful day. Mm-hmm. All righty.